Welcome back to the channel, everybody. If it's your first time, I'm Bry Guy 503. As you can see on everything, if you like what I'm doing here on this channel and you'd like to follow along, click on the link below. Subscribe, please. Help me out a little bit. But on this week's video, we're going to make some shelves, some industrial-looking shelves. We got some pipe and some wood and some stain, and we'll just put it all together and make some kick-ass shelves. What do you think? And just so you know, on this video it's going to be done in a couple parts because of paint drying and all that stuff, and it's going to all be kind of out of order. Right now I'm shaved. Well, you know, my beard's a little shorter, but in a couple clips my beard's a little bit longer. But anyways, let's get to it and let's get building. So what we have here is a 3/4 inch pipe, a floor flange, and a cap, so that the shelf will just sit right on top there, right on top of here. So essentially all you need to do is make sure that your piece of wood is going to fit in between the cap and here so that it doesn't hit, and then you're good to go. You're golden. So what you have to do is just go to Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever your closest hardware store is, buy a 3/4 inch cap, 3/4 inch floor flange, and then you'll need to buy a piece of pipe, and then most places will actually cut it to size. So you just need to cut it down to the size that you want for the piece of wood that you're using. I did this wood here. It's actually 7.5 inches wide, so I just had it a little bit larger so that I knew that it would be good to go. But make sure you add a little bit for the cap and then the threaded here, about a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch here or so, plus or minus. But I just had these cut and rethreaded at 9 inches so that I know that it would fit. So to paint these, I'm just going to use some semi-gloss Rust-Oleum paint. Picked it up at Lowe's. It was like $5.50 or so. And a little trick that I learned is that if you put this in some hot water, which I put some hot water in here already, you probably can't tell, but it's steaming pretty good. Here in Portland right now it's about 44 degrees today, and you know, paint is a little bit better when it's warmer out. So if you just take your paint can, throw it in the warm water, let it sit for a little while, it sprays a little bit better. Anything helps, you know. Let's go ahead and grab our paint out of the warm water. It's been about 10-15 minutes. It's been sitting in there, so it's nice and warm and ready to roll. Shake it up a little bit. Should be good to go. Parts are all done. They're all dry and looking good. So now we can move on to the part where we paint the wood. We got to cut the wood, paint the wood, or actually stain the wood. And let's get started on that then. And there you go. That easy. Simple, quick and easy. If you have some little bit of burr on the edges, you might want to take some sandpaper, sand it down so it's not too rough on your hands. You don't want to get a sliver or anything. But now I think we are ready to stain it. So I'll set up the sawhorses and get out the stain, and we'll get her done. You know, before we start working on the stain, how about we have a beer? Sounds like a great idea. Is this your first time? First time watching the vlogs? We always drink beer when we work on projects. We like to have fun. So let's grab a beer. Uh-oh.
It's the last Coors Light. Gotta restock.
Anyways, crack this baby open. Cheers. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's get to work. So the stain that I've decided to use that is Minwax wood finish penetrating stain. This is the classic gray, so it comes out in a gray color. It's pretty nice. I'm doing the shelves in this color because I've already done my fireplace in the same color, so it'll all match and come together. So it's been a couple of days because the weather is it's pretty cold here in Portland. So it took a little bit longer than normal for everything to dry, but it turned out pretty good. There's a couple messed up spots. That's why this one's on top of the other one, so you can't see this ugly mark that I had. But it doesn't really matter because it's a shelf and stuff's going to go on top of it. And what do you say we go install this stuff? Let's go do that. We'll head upstairs and do some measuring and figure that all out, and you guys can follow along. So this is where I'm going to put the shelves, is right on this wall right here, right in between there, centered, about a foot above the blanket shelf, so right about here, and then another foot right there, so there'll be 2 shelves. And they're going to be matching the mantle that the fireplace that I'm working on. If you get a good view of that. I still need to finish the bottom. I was going to make a video about it, but I started it and then didn't even think about doing the video. But there's a little bit ways to go, as you can see. But then I also built an I-beam mantle with cross pieces that go down like this. Sits about this tall. It's powder coated black. I have fit that up there. Maybe I'll throw a picture right in here. Anyways, if this is something you'd like to see me finish on the vlogs or channel, maybe comment and let me know. But it's almost finished. I got a little bit of ways to go. But let's get back to the shelf. Okay, just to go over a couple things you'll need. I got a level, a pencil, tape measure, drill with a 1/4 inch drill bit. Some of these 1/4 inch drywall concrete anchors, just because the likelihood of you hitting a stud in the wall is very unlikely. So we're just going to use these. And then, yeah, and then we're going to mount these up. Let's do it. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to measure the height of what we want our first shelf at. So this is, we wanted a foot above this. It's 44 inches. So plus 12, so we got 56. So we'll make a mark at 56. Okay, so that's going to be the height of our first shelf. And then after that, we want to measure right in between the window and the wall. We have 54 and a half. So 54 and a half, we want to find center line of that. So 54 and a half will be 27 and a quarter. So right about there. And then, so we have our center. So our center, we are making 3 feet long shelves. So 3 feet, that's 36 inches. So from center line, we want to go half of that. So we're going to go 18 inches over to each side and mark that so that we know where the ends will be. So here's our 18. And another 18. Okay, so now we have the point here, and here is where our shelf's going to be centered in the wall. So now we're going to get our brackets, and then we'll put our brackets up here and figure out the distance, how long we want the shelf to overhang over the actual pipe. Because you'll want to leave, you know, like probably 4 inches I think would be good. So just take your wood and then figure out where you want it along here. I've decided about 4 inches in would be good. Now that we figured out where we're going to put the pipe, we're going to go to our line that we measured out. And we're going to measure over 4 inches on there, 4 inches over there. So now we have our spot for the pipe. So we're going to put the pipe up there and then mark where we want to drill the holes and then drill some holes. So now that we know where our spots are that we're going to put the pipe, well, we know left and right. Now we need to figure out up and down, so we're going to use a level for that. So just find your marks and then level it up. Go to your mark. That's level there. And then that's level there. So now we're putting one pipe there and one pipe there. We know it's good and level. So there's 4 holes in here, but I'm only going to use 2 just because I think it looks better and it doesn't really need 4, and I don't want 4 holes in my wall. And it's really not going to hold that much pounds. So I've chose to do the top one and the bottom just for looks wise rather than side to side. So if you put this up here and then mark, you're going to want to look at your lines or look at your holes and just eyeball them even, because that's all that matters. It's visual. It's a visual thing. So, and then I'm just going to mark with my pencil where the hole's going to go. And then we got our 2 drill holes right there. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So now that we have our holes for our bottom shelf, what we're basically going to do is we're going to transfer the lines for our first shelf up 12 inches, and then we'll have our next shelf, our top shelf. So all I did there was I just matched up the holes with the bottom and then used the level to level it out, and then just drew a line, and now I can measure up from there 12 inches, and then I'll have my marks, just 12 and 12. So there we go. We got 2, 4, 6, 8 holes we got to drill, and then we'll be able to mount these things. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to drill some holes, hammer these anchors into the wall, and what happens is when you screw the screw into the anchor spreads open and holds itself into the wall. They're good up to about 35, depending on the anchor, but 35, 50 pounds, so they're pretty good. Everything drilled, and we got all the anchors in. So now all we have to do is put up our pipes, screw them into the wall, and then we're getting really close to being done. Well, they're all screwed into the wall and ready for the wood to be placed on here. So let's go ahead and do that. There you have it. 2 awesome shelves made for I think the most expensive part is the piping and everything. I think that was about $40, and then the wood, you could get away with just one 8-foot piece of wood. This is really nice wood. I think I paid about $15 for the one piece. But there you go. $55, and you have 2 nice shelves, and they match this. So what do you guys think? Pretty easy, right? Not bad for a little weekend project, you know. $60, you got a couple shelves, and they look pretty nifty. And you know what? People are going to ask you, how did you do that? And you know what you say? You send them to Brag Eye 503 on YouTube, right? Anyways, we're going to end it here. Thanks for joining me, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you like what I'm doing. I'll put a link in the subscription down below. Not subscription, the description. Anyways, thanks for joining me, and peace out.